Hello, classy people. How y'all doing Saturday afternoon? We're here to take a peek at the Autumn Stakes up at Woodbine on Sunday. It is the 8th race, a field of 8, going a mile and 16 on the synthetic. Grade 2 for $175,000. That's a pretty nice field up there, and we're going to dial in. But as always, please support us by subscribing if you haven't already. Like our videos, comment, of course, my favorite part. And as always, if you need one of our tip sheets for any track in North America, just email us at speedking24@yahoo.com. Speedking24. Well, the number one horse in the Autumn Stakes on Sunday is Special Forces. Special Forces, very nice gelding. 6 years old, trained by Kevin Altar. 20 starts, 6 wins, 6 seconds, and 2/3. The horse is by Candy Ride, coming off of a stake win. I think it was the Durham Handicap on October 10th up at Woodbine at a mile and 16. So all systems are go with Special Forces. The horse is the second favorite on the board at 5-2, the co-favorite, and rightly so. The horse is a hard-hitting horse, shows up each and every time. Out of the 20 starts, 14 of them in the money, 6 wins in 6 seconds. Nothing to sneeze at. Very nice horse, and rightly so. Should be favorite or co-favorite, coming off of that big stakes win on the 10th of October across this particular track. The one horse, Special Forces, should be very tough in this spot. Here's a horse that I'm going to give a little credence to, the number 2, Vancy. Vancy is a 4-year-old colt, 16 starts, 5 wins, 1 second, and 3/3. That's a third of the wins of the 16 starts. Pino is our trainer of record. Mr. Hernandez is the jock. The horse is by Verrazano. Last time the horse run at PID on September 22nd, 7th, 48 days ago, and ran a very nice stake race that day across the synthetic. It was the Peach Street Stakes, and that's some 48 days ago. This horse is kind of speedy. I believe could get to the front here, and speed figures are just as good as Special Forces. I mean, the horse is coming from a minor track, PID, Prescott Downs, of course, and but the horse is 10-1 on the morning line, Vancy. So I'm going to look to try to get some value in this race, because we know the big 3 horses in this race, right? Of course, Special Force, the number 1, Sir Winston, the number 4, and the 8 horse, Mighty Heart. But Vancy is not a bad horse in this spot. This 4-year-old colt, which is a Kentucky bred by Verrazano, can run. And I think he's going to be forwardly placed, and the speed figures are just as good as the big 3 in here. So Vanny is going to be our long shot play in here for sure. The number 3 horse, well, Primo Touch appears to be overmatched in this spot. The number 3 got 40 starts, 8 wins. That's pretty good, and 9/3. The speed figures on this horse are good. You know, the number 3 Primo Touch, who's 20-1 on the morning line, by the way. But the horse is a turf horse. Don't have any synthetic experience that I could see here in the PPs at all. But I mean, if somehow this horse's turf form translates into synthetic, then I don't know why this horse would ever be 20-1 on the morning line. I mean, 2 back on September 18th in a Grade 1 stakes right here, the Patterson Canadian International for $600,000. This horse took him 3/4 of the way and ended up finishing 3rd. The speed figure is not only good, but it's better than anybody else's in this race that was on the synthetic. The only question here is, can the horse run on the synthetic? I mean, the horse primarily runs on the grass. So the number 3 Primo Touch is 20-1. I tell you right now, I wouldn't leave this horse out of my exactors or trifactors for just. I can't believe the horse is 20-1. Not with those kinds of speed numbers. But anyway, the question here with the number 3 Primo Touch is the synthetic. So, you know, at 20-1, I don't like him in the win spot, but I surely would not leave the number 3 off my exactors by no means, or trifactors, of course. And here's the other, here is the favorite in the race, Sir Winston, the number 4 horse, 17 starts, 5 wins, 3 seconds. This is Mark Cassidy's horse, and of course he comes out of that Dorms Cup race with Special Force. They ran 1-2 that day. So the number 1 Special Force is 5-2, and the number 4 Sir Winston is 9-5. Of course, they are the favorites coming out of that Grade 3 race on October 10th, right here at the distance, and by 2 top trainers, Attar, and of course, Sir Winston is trained by Mark Cassidy. So, again, the 1 and the 4, favorite and co-favorite, rightly so. I don't need to tell you anything more about Sir Winston. That, of course, you're going to have to use him, and he's a top contender in this race. The number 5 horse, Fairway Kitten by Kitten's Joy, 27 starts, 7 wins. That's pretty good, actually. But the speed figures are a tab below these, or 2 tabs. The number 5, Fairway Kitten, is 20-1. Looks overmatched in this spot. We're going to throw the 5 off the ticket. The number 6 horse, well, Halo again, 8 starts, 3 wins, 1 second, and 1 third. The horse has very light experience here, trained by, that's right, Steve Asmussen. Steve is sending him up to Canada now. Guess what? He comes out of that Durham Cup race with Special Force and Sir Winston. The number 6 Halo again is 8-1 or 6-1 on the morning line. The horse has a little light on experience, but again, these horses move forward. Now, the one thing that I will tell you about the number 6, when he ran in that race on October 10th against Special Forces and Sir Winston, the horse was coming off of a 393-day layoff. So that was the first race the horse ran in 393 days, the number 6, Halo again. Now, there's 2 positives. One, they took the horse to a stake race, which tells us that they still think highly of the horse. And 2, the horse led them 3/4 of the way and was only beaten by 2.5 lengths by Special Force, the number 1, and the 4 horse, Sir Winston. So, brighter minds would tell you that Halo again should be better off the second time than the first time, right? 393 days. So, I mean, you don't need to be a genius to figure that out. The horse is returning on a 35-day layoff after a 399-day layoff. And there's no reason the Halo again don't run better than he did the first time off the long layoff. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. And it is my guy, Steve Asmussen. Sean Bridgman is in the yards. This horse is by Spangletown. There's a 4-year-old who's lightly raced, obviously a Canadian-bred horse getting in this race. And prior to that, in 2020, the horse ran here, ran behind Mighty Heart, who's the 8 horse here, and got smoked. I don't know what happened. He was bump start that day. And then back in August of last year, the horse ran second behind Clayton. You guys know that horse. And the horse does have a stake race win across this track, which was the Queenston Stakes at 7 furlongs. So there is some real plus side to the number 6 horse. Second race off the layoff, a long layoff, and should be better than he was last time. And I mean, he was only 2 lengths behind the favorites in here, the number 1 and number 4. So again, Halo again, trained by my guy. I'm going to be putting him on my ticket. He's going to be my first or second choice in here for sure. The number 7 horse, well, here's a long shot in the race, Embolden. Just like my last name, Bolden. Embolden. 16 starts, 4 wins, 4 seconds, and 3 thirds. Again, this horse speed figures are really light here. Coming out of a claiming race on the 14th of October. I mean, I don't like this horse at all, the number 7, Embolden. Let's throw him off the ticket. And here's your other favorite in the race, okay? Mighty Heart. We all know Mighty Heart. Josie Carroll, the nice trainer, lady trainer up there who does a fantastic job up there as well. Mighty Heart is a hard-hitting 4-year-old with 14 starts, 5 wins, 2 seconds, and 2/3. I don't have to tell you anything about Miss Carroll, and of course Patrick Husband is in the arms. Now, the 3 horses all came out of that race, the 4 of them actually, on October 10th, the Durham Cup Handicap. They finished, Mighty Heart finished 4th behind Halo again. So they finished like this. The number 1 Special Force in this race, the number 4 Sir Winston finished 2nd, and the horse we just got finished talking about off the 393-day layoff, the number 6 Steve Asmussen, Halo again and ran 3rd, and Mighty Heart ran 4th. So again, that's where your race is, between those 4. Now, the nice thing is Halo again, who finished 3rd, is 6-1. The other 3, the 1, 4, and 8, are all 5-2, 5-2, 9-5, and 3-1. They're all the same, right? So there is your 8 in the autumn grade 2. Of course, everybody's going to have to beat the number 1 horse, Special Forces, because he won the last race, and the number 4 Sir Winston, and of course the number 8 Mighty Heart. You say, well, what are you going to do, Mr. Speedking? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and be a homer here. I'm going to take Halo again, the number 6 horse. And here's why. Not because it's Asmussen, okay, but for the fact that the horse was on a 393-day layoff. When he went into that race against Special Force and Sir Winston and Mighty Heart, it was 393 days since he ran. He ran 3rd to them by 2 limbs. This is the 2nd race off the layoff. The horse is 6-1. That seems fair to me. That seems square to me. This horse should be tighter than he was when he came off that layoff. He's coming off a 35-day layoff. So I mean, I don't know why the 6 horse wouldn't run here. So my top pick is going to be the number 6 horse. And of course, I'm going to go right to the 2, Vancy. I like the number 2 horse. I think he's the speed of the race. The horse is 10-1. The speed, even coming from PID, the speed figures are just as good as anybody else's in here. And I'm going to go to the 2. And of course, my 3rd pick is going to be Sir Winston, the number 4. I'm going to upset the whole race. I'm going to take Halo again. Halo again, the number 6, Asmussen. And I'm going to take the number 2 horse, Vancy, who's at 10-1. I got value for my money in this race. Should be an exciting race, as always. Folks, do me a big favor, down in the description, see our disclaimer. And most of all, I need y'all to stay classy in everything you do. And thanks so much for your support. Please comment, tell me what your thoughts are. My boys up there in Canada, come on, handicap this race. Help the Speed King out. I'm leaning towards Halo again. And of course, the number 2, Vancy. We think they're speed. We're going to try to beat the big 3-head horses, the 1, 4, and 8 in here. Let's have some fun. Let's make some shackles. What? The Canadian way. Our friends up there north of the border. As always, folks, stay classy in everything you do.